Hello students, I'm here with another video from the chapter of class 10 Science NCERT book. The name of the chapter is Heredity and Evolution. So before starting today's video, I would like to tell you all that till now, what all things we have discussed in this chapter. So we have started this chapter and I have told you about the meaning of the word heredity, which means that it is the transmission, it is the transport, it is the passage of the different characteristics, different features from parent to their offspring. Okay, whenever the continuation in the features which is present in the parent is passing into the offsprings, means it is passing into their children, then it is said to be as the heredity. Okay, similarly this heredity also is consisting of certain factors, which means that there is one more word that is known as the variation. Variations means there are certain differences in each and every individual. If we talk about if we compare these, if we compare all the individuals, all the human beings, we'll see that these all the human beings are different from each other. Now, why the human beings are different from each other, children? See, because when the human beings are different from each other, it means that there are certain features which are not matching with their parent. Okay, which means that some of the characteristics or some of the features are being transmitted from the parent. Okay, but there are certain things, there are certain genes, there are certain information which is not being passed on. Now how this is being passed? It is being passed because all the information is already engraved, it is already present in the fertilized egg. Okay, so as it is present in the fertilized egg, children, because the DNA copying is taking place. We have already discussed about all these things in the last class, I mean in the last chapter, I must say. So there we saw that the information is present, it is present in the form of DNA. Now this DNA is present in the parent, which is getting transmitted to the offspring. Okay, now here we are understanding there are certain words which are only used in this chapter. So regarding that same thing, regarding these facts, I have discussed about certain words which are related to this heredity. So the first word which we discussed about was this variation, which means differences in the features of each and every individual. Okay, then after that we discussed about the trait. Trait is the another name of the feature. Trait is another name of the characteristics which we are talking about. So, like there are different features in each and every individual. If we talk about plants, there are certain features which is always present in the plants, and these characteristics are exclusively related only with the plants. Okay, there are certain characteristics which is only related with the human beings. There are certain characteristics which are always related with the animals. Okay, so we can, if we are talking about these characteristics, we can in the science or in this chapter we can use different words. So the word for used the word which is used for the word characters or features is the trait. Okay, next is all these traits are being heritable, means they are getting transmitted from parent to their offspring. After that, we studied that a branch of biology which deals with this heredity as well as evolution. So why this heredity? Heredity means it is the information which is present in the parent and passing from parent to offspring. Similarly, because of the information which is being transmitted from generation to generation, this evolves the things. Okay, this evolves the living beings. Now if we talk about the animals, if we talk about different small animals, larger animals, human beings, everybody is having this evolution, but this is so slow, which is not being recognized in a very less span of time. It takes lots of time, okay, for the expression. Then we see that the biology which deals with this particular variation, heredity, evolution, all these is known as the genetics. Okay, then after that we have also seen about the word gene. Okay, so these gene are the only factors, they were earlier known as the factors. Okay, so these factors of the gene, they are responsible for having the heredity information. Okay, they have the heritable or inheritable or the information which will always pass from generation to generation. So what is getting transmitted? These genes are getting transmitted because the information which is present in the DNA and RNA, it is present in the form of the genes. Okay, so it is present in the form of gene. Fine. So this gene is present at the complete stretch of this DNA. Okay, and it is only double stranded DNA. Okay, in the case of human beings. Fine. So all these the strand contains small patterns, um, a small stretch of DNA, or the information is present in the form of certain codes, certain living basic living entities. There are certain basic things because of which the information is present in this DNA. So this is known as the gene. Okay, so gene are those small segment of DNA which contains this heritable information. Then after that we saw about the word alleles. What do you mean by the word alleles? Alleles means these are the allelomorphs which indicate the contrasting features of the trait. For example, if we talk about the trait which is the height, okay, now height is a particular trait because we everybody has a different height. In the case of human beings, even in the case of the plants, if we talk about the height, it means that it consists of various heights in the plants. Some plants are very tall, some plants are very short, some plants are only creeping on the ground, so we cannot they don't reach to they don't reach up to a height. Okay, so there are various features which is related with this height. There is variation in the trait called height. Okay, now the trait height is expressed by two genes, two types of genes, I must say. Okay, so these two types of feature, the two types of quantity because of which the height is getting expressed is known as the alleles. So it is a pair of the gene which, it is a form of the gene which is having, I mean, which is getting which expresses a particular characteristics, which expresses a particular trait. Okay, now if we talk about the trait called yesterday I talked about the seed shape. So seed shape is another trait, and a shape could be of two types. So one could be round, one could be wrinkled. So this round and wrinkled seeds are being expressed by two forms of alleles. Okay, so these forms, these contrasting forms. Okay, so here these contrasting forms is known as the alleles. In the case of height also, some people are very having a good height, some people are not having a good height. So if they're not having a good height, then they are said to be as dwarf. Okay, so the two contrasting features, one is the tallness and the second one is the dwarfness. Okay, so this tallness and the dwarfness is again expressed by a pair of gene that is said to be as pair of factors which is said to be as allelomorphs or simply alleles, or it is also and it is also being discussed that each trait has one pair of allele, one pair of allele. Okay, for each trait means for height, for tallness, for shortness, each has one pair. Okay, similarly seed shape, that is wrinkled and round. Wrinkle also will be expressed by a pair of alleles. Similarly, the rounded seeds are also going to be expressed by a pair of alleles. Okay, so these alleles are certain factors. These alleles are those uh, forms because of which we can express a trait. Now, why I am emphasizing this allele part? Because now we are going to start with certain more terms which were left in this chapter. So the next term which is related to this alleles. Now, alleles are of two types. Okay, the first type of allele or the factors contrasting trait is expressed by these alleles. The pair of alleles, it could be of two types. One is homozygous, homozygous. Okay, it is known as a homozygous allele, or it could be heterozygous. Homozygous or heterozygous alleles. Now, what are the homozygous alleles? See, if you have understood the word allele, then you might be understanding these two terms which I am writing it right now. So it is very important to understand what you mean by alleles. Alleles are nothing but these are the pairs which expresses certain trait. Height is expressed by a allele. Okay, now in height also we have tallness and dwarfness. Two sub traits are there, I must say. Okay, so what happens? The trait which is being which is being expressed by the alleles, that is tallness and the dwarfness. Tallness also will be expressed by the alleles. Dwarfness also will be expressed by the alleles. Okay, so these alleles are of two types: homozygous alleles and heterozygous alleles. Now, what do you mean by homozygous allele, children? So, homozygous alleles means it is very similar, the similar kind of alleles if it is having. So, homozygous means, homo means what? Homo means same. Okay, homozygous alleles. These homozygous alleles means same allele, same type of allele. Same type of allele is present. Okay, if same type of allele is expressing any trait, it is said to be as homozygous. Okay, it is said to be as homozygous. Fine. Or in another word, in the word of in the term of this genetics, this is also known as these are genetically pure individuals. These are genetically pure individual. Okay. Now, what do you mean by genetically pure individual? It means that in each and every generation, uh, the trait will be expressed. Okay, so means they are having the same pair of alleles, which is expressing the trait. Okay, this is known as homozygous trait. Okay, now the traits are always written in the alphabets. Okay, they are always written as alphabets. Suppose that this I have written as capital T, capital T. Next, small t. Okay, so alphabets are used, and whatever alphabet is you used for for expressing one quality, the same allele is going to be used to express the very same quality. For example, if we are expressing this tallness, this is a trait. Okay, tallness is a trait. So tallness will be represented by a pair of alleles. Now here one T and another T. Capital T we are using, children. Please remember. Similarly, small t we are using for dwarfness. Okay, so this tallness and the dwarfness both are the trait which is expressing by a pair of alleles. I said it remains in pair. That is why I have written double T. Okay, similarly double T in the small also. So please remember how to express. So each is getting expressed by one pair of alleles, and it is expressed in the form of the letters, in the form of the alphabets. Now the next condition here is, now what are heterozygous alleles? Hetero means different. Okay, so hetero means different. Now those traits which are of different types, okay, or they are said to be as hybrids. Hybrids means they are not real, they are not natural, okay, they are not very common, they are little bit uncommon. Okay, so these hybrids are having the different kinds of alleles. As we have written double T, it is very matching with each other. If I write one single T and one small t, this is known as heterozygous. Okay, so here what would happen? The plant would contain the plant would contain the height, but what it will be known as, I'll tell you later. Okay, so it means, but if we are checking this, we will find out these. This is one is the heterozygous allele. Heterozygous allele means it is an allele where the hybrids are produced, and again it lives in pair. See, it is in pair, but then also the one would be in capital letter, another one would be written in the small letter. One capital, one small letter. Whenever we are writing, we are always expressing this heterozygous allele. Okay, please remember this very well, and please try to understand each and every trait, children, because if you are not going to understand this, again these words would be used further in the different classes of. Okay, similarly I will also use the words. Now I'm not going to explain this, because if you're not understanding it right now here itself, then it will be very difficult for you all to understand the next topics which are related with all these, where I'll use all these terms now. So please make it very clear in your mind that what is the meaning of the word homozygous, what is the meaning of the word heterozygous, what do you mean by alleles. So alleles are the pairs which could be expressed in the two forms, homozygous and heterozygous. When two similar letters are written, it is said to be as homozygous, which means it is going to give you it is going to express a similar kind of alleles, okay. But if different kind of alleles are being expressed, they are expressing the hybrids, which is being always written in the form of capital T and the small t, okay. I mean, one capital letter, one small letter, always capital letter is being used, then it is said to be as the homozygous allele. And if both the small letters are being used, it is said to be as homozygous. Again, this is an homozygous allele. Now there are two conditions. One is capital letters and other one is the small letter. But if both the capital letters are there, then also it is homozygous. If both small letters are there, then also it is homozygous allele. Now, this homozygous conditions, I'll tell you just now why I have written this capital letters and small letter. Okay, so it's very interesting. Homozygous alleles are of two types. Okay, so homozygous alleles are of two types, children. Okay, now what are these two types? One is said to be as dominant, dominant allele, okay, and the another one is known as the recessive, okay. The second one is known as the recessive alleles, okay. Now what is the meaning of the word dominant allele and the recessive alleles? I said homozygous is always expressed in the same alphabets, okay, either it is capital letters or it could be small letters. Now what is the significance of writing the capital letters and small letters in pair? So the trait which always expresses in each generation, okay, in maximum generation, not in each generation, because if I write this each generation, then again in maximum generation, almost in all generation. Okay, similarly, the recessive alleles are those which remains hidden in some generation. Okay, fine. Now, if I say that if it is always expressed, if the trait is always expressed in each and every generation or in maximum number of generation, it is said to be as a dominant trait, and which is expressed, and I told you that traits are always expressed by alleles. Dominant alleles means that it is always being expressed in each and every generation, which is always being written in the form of capital letters. So dominant allele is always written in the form of the capital letters, okay. Now recessive alleles are written, okay. Now this dominant is written in capital letters and recessive is written in the small letters. These are pure dominant, these are pure recessive. Okay, so what is the significance of writing capital T or capital letters? Capital means it is the dominant trait, and recessive means it is not going to be expressed in all the generations. It would be expressed only in some generation. In the for example, in second generation it is expressing, then in fourth, in sixth generation it would be expressing. So it is not going to express in each generation. So this is known as a recessive trait. A dominant trait means dominant alleles are going to express the dominant trait, and this dominant trait or the alleles would be having the similar kinds of the alphabets. That is always written in the capital letter. Please remember, dominant means capital letters, okay. Now again, there are two conditions. Either this dominant alleles would contain both the capital letters or one capital, one small. Now what does this mean? As I just now told you that it is a heterozygous allele, but in this condition what happens, the hybrids are produced. But in this case what happens, the trait which is always dominant will be expressed here also, but one alleles, or in the case of alleles we will see that these are of two types. So this is known as the heterozygous alleles. But these are the heterozygous, these are the mixed features, but that would also be a tall, okay. If this T is expressing the tallness trait, it means that if it contains dominant gene, this dominant allele, it is always going to be expressed. If only one allele of a capital letter is written, then also it will express. If both the letters are written, it is confirmed that it is going to be expressed. Okay, so this means that these are the pure dominant. These are known as the heterozygous trait, but they also would contain this dominant allele. Okay, so this capital D means these are the traits which will always express, which means that these are homozygous dominant. They are always said as these are the homozygous dominant. Okay, and this is heterozygous dominant. Fine. Here, homozygous recessive. And here in recessive, only one condition is there. When both the small letters are being used, then only it is going to be expressed. So this is known as homozygous recessive. Okay, so recessives are always written in the form of the small letters, and they're always producing the same. They're always having one different letters. So this recessive will have only always the small letters. Okay, so small letter recessive, capital letter dominant, and capital, both capital homozygous, both small homozygous, one small letter, one capital letter heterozygous. But still this contains this dominant allele because it is having one capital letter. So what kind of trait it is going to have? This will always be the same, that if T represents tallness, this would be homozygous tall and this would be heterozygous tall, because it contains this gene is having one capital T, one small t. Okay, I'll discuss this more in the next part. I mean, whenever dominant trait means, it is always expressing in most of the generation. For example, the eye color, all these are, eye color is a trait which is expressed in each and every generation. Each and every person is having its eye color. So this is the dominant trait. Okay, next is the presence of the hair on the finger. This is also a dominant trait. Recessive trait means it is the hidden trait. Sometimes it is expressed, sometimes it is not getting expressed. Okay, for example, recessive trait means this attached earlobe. Earlobe means the skin of the ear is being attached with your skin of this, with this cheek skin. Okay, so here if you see that if it is being attached, okay, or free-ended, so the person who is having the attached earlobe, this is said to be as, this is the recessive trait. In some person it is going to be expressed, and in some person it is not getting expressed. Okay, so many other traits are also there which could be written as dominant or recessive. So we talked about the dominant trait also, in which sometimes it is being expressed. So the eye color which is expressed in the maximum human beings, you can see that maximum human beings would contain which eye color? Either brown or black. Okay, so the color brown and the black is the dominant eye color trait. Okay, but blue eyes are not of all. So some people are having only blue eyes. So why this blue eye iris is blue in color? Because this contains, I mean, this is a recessive trait which is expressed only in few generations. Few of us is having this blue eye trait. Okay, I mean blue eye color. So this is the recessive trait, fine, which is going to be expressed in only few of the generations. But black and brown eye color is it is of, I mean, the dominant trait is there, which is expressed in maximum number of generation. Okay. Now, what is the next trait? I told you that the presence of the hair on the finger. See, you can see the hairs are present on the finger. A small tuft of hair is present. So this presence of hair on the finger, if it is present, it is known as the dominant trait. As you know that maximum number of people would be having this hair on the this hair on the fingers. But if some people, those who are not having hair on the finger, it is said to be as the recessive trait for them, because it is not expressing in them. Okay, attached earlobe, as I told you, the free-ended earlobe is not dominant trait, which you could see that most of the people are having this free earlobe. Okay, but some of the people are having this attached earlobe. So the person who is having attached earlobe, that would be known as a recessive trait. Okay, so this recessive trait is expressed by the recessive alleles, which would contain this small letter. Small letters always used to express this recessive. So please remember what is homozygous. Homozygous means both of them would be written with the same letter, same alphabet, and heterozygous would be written with the different alphabets. That would be a mixture of capital and a small alphabet. Okay. Now I'll talk about the next thing, that is haploid. Haploid and diploid. What do you mean by haploid? Haploid means it is the haploid means it is the condition of the chromosome which is half number of chromosomes. That means it is haploid cells. Okay. Diploid means it contains both. It contains complete set of chromosome. Half a set of chromosome is known as haploid. Only 23 chromosomes are present. It is said to be as haploid cell. Okay. Diploid means complete chromosomes would be present. Complete set of chromosomes would be present. For example, 46 chromosomes are present. Then it is known as the diploid. Okay. So haploid and diploid, unpaired chromosomes. The next is genetic material. I talked of just now that DNA and RNAs are the genetic material. Okay. So the next word is genetic material. Genetic material means it is the DNA and the RNA which is present in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid, which is the genetic material. Fine. Next is the genotype and phenotype. Genotype and phenotype. Phenotype means the features which you could see. Okay, those features which gets expressed is said to be as the phenotype. The characters which are visible characters, and hidden characters, they are known as a genotype. Okay, or if we talk about the level of gene, as I told you that the phenotype is a visible characteristic, which means that height is a visible characteristic. If small, phenotypically it is tall in nature. Okay, so if it contains both this allele, capital T, it would be tall. If it contains one capital T, one small t, again it would be tall. But there are, if at the level of gene, on looking from outside, you will see that this plant is tall. But if you are going to check its gene, it would be having this heterozygous condition, where one is the small letter and another one is the capital letter gene is going to be expressed. Means the pair of alleles would be heterozygous form. So this heterozygous forms and the homozygous form, if you are going to check the gene level, then it is said to be as genotype. Okay. And if outside, if it is visible, what kind of trait it is going to tell? This would be tall. This again, both of them would be tall. Because one capital T is there, so it is going to show its effects. It becomes tall. Okay. So tall, capital T, one capital T, one small t. Phenotypically, both of them are tall. But genotypically, when we are studying the genotype, when we are looking at the gene of them, so we'll find that one is pure tall, other one is the recessive tall, other one is the hybrid. Means it is going to show you the tallness because it contains only one capital T allele. Okay, so this was about the genetic material and the phenotype. Next is the progeny. Progeny means offspring. Okay, next word for offspring is progeny. Progeny means offspring. Okay, so the next generation is known as progeny, offspring. Okay, offspring means from parents we get offsprings. Fine. Next is known as, the next word is the F1 and F2 generation. Now, what do you mean by F1 and F2 generation? Suppose that parents are there, parent is there. Okay, from this parent we get first generation. So this is known as F1 generation. Now, if F1 generation is present and again the next generation would be obtained, that would be F2 generation. So what is the full form of this F1 and F2? This is known as first filial generation, which is from the first parent. Okay, first generation is known as the first filial generation. Okay, this is known as the F1 generation, or in short form this is known as F1 generation. Capital F and 1 would be written in subscript form. F2 generation means again one generation is going to give rise to the second generation, and this would be F2 generation. Okay, now I'll talk about the scientist who contributed the two observations, and that was very much, that was very much related with his work, and his name is Mendel. What is the name of the scientist? As I when see, when this video starts, I have given one slide over there. I mean, the introduction is given over there, the name of the chapter is written over there, the one photograph is there of the scientist. So that photograph is of the person who contributed towards this genetics in a very large manner, and that the person is the whose name is Mendel. What is his name? His name is Mendel. Okay, so Mendel or Gregor Johann Mendel, G.J. Mendel, his full name. So this person was actually, he was not a biologist, he was a statistician. He was it is person who always studies the statistics. He has only read the calculations, and on the basis of the calculation he has designed the complete genetics, the backbone of the genetics, I must say. So this Mendel is a scientist who has discovered many laws. These three laws especially, they have contributed a lot towards this genetics. Okay, the science is made by this person. That is why he is known as the father of genetics. Okay, so please remember his name, G.J. Mendel, Gregor Johann Mendel, who has discovered many root features of this science, which is known as genetics. Okay, so that's all for today's video, children. I'll meet you all in the next video with the explanation regarding the work of Mendel. Okay, so I'll discuss 2-3 laws are there, and that would be very, again I'll explain this in a very simplified manner that would make you understand in a very clear way. Okay, children, that's all for today's video. I will meet you all with the next class in the next video.